Hello everyone, please press subscribe, press follow, press the bell so you don't miss any new clips. Adorable Treasured Fox, Divine Doctor Mother Overturning the Heavens. Author by Xiao Qi. Audio novels by Novelist. Chapter 361, by Xiao vs Nangongyi 3. Going cold in his irises, Bai Xiao instantly rushes forward to slash down with his longsword. Oh my goodness, what kind of concoction did he drink there? Why did Nangongyi suddenly break through the earth rank and into the sky rank? From what I recall, taking enhancement potions to improve one's strength is forbidden during the competition. Isn't what he's doing equivalent to disregarding the rules? He's crazy, Nangongyi is truly crazy. The onlookers were all gasping at the scene, wondering if the Holy Land was really that determined to shelter the guy. Unfortunately for the lad that's been taking the lead up until now, Nangongyi have fully stabilized his newfound powers before the slash could make contact. Showing an almost sadistic smirk, this prince wanted to laugh at the lad's struggle. It's useless. Boom. Following a thunderous palm strike, which landed directly onto Bai Xiao's chest, the boy could barely hold onto his sword by then. Even his mouth was seeping with blood after that attack. Nevertheless, the firmness in those eyes could not be wiped away no matter the injury. Bang! Smashing her fist into the wooden pillar next to herself, Chu Yi's entire body was trembling with rage as she rose up from the seat. Who is the one sent from home? I want his name. The girl's voice didn't even get to die down yet, and the bodyguard that came with her on this trip had already kneeled down to report. Princess, according to my knowledge it's a disciple called Lu Zifeng. Lu Zifeng, who is he? Wrinkling her brow, Chu Yi just couldn't recall who the man was. As such, she completely dismisses the issue and dived right into the problem. I don't know who the heck he is, but I do know using a forbidden item is against the rules of our sect. That Lu Zifeng not only secretly hoarded such an evil product, he also ignored the rules set by my father. Twitching in the corner of his mouth, the white guard can literally feel the sweat dripping down his forehead at this point. Princess, should I go give a warning to that Lu Zifeng then? Warning. There is no need to give him a warning. Go subdue him as soon as this test is over and send him back home. The person needs to be properly disciplined. Still clenching hard on her fist, Chu Yi was determined to remove anyone who dares to tarnish the Holy Land's name. Bai Yan, with the order made, the girl then turns around to face her friend. Should we send someone down there and stop this contest? Never diverting her gaze from the arena even until now, Bai Yan was also quite tense at the situation. Let's wait for a bit. As much as she would love to rush down there to put a stop to this farce this instant, this woman knows that cannot be at this time. Otherwise, it will greatly hamper her brother's future achievement. However, if Xiao does become endangered, I will personally make a move. You need not interfere. Lu Zifeng, Inner Circle Disciple. It seems that the Holy Land needs to be cleansed of its bad seeds. The situation within the arena had become very one-sided now. Previously it was Nangongyi being slowly overtaken, now it's Bai Xiao who's being suppressed at every turn and had the look of being defeated at any minute. Bang! Under the relentless assault of the dastardly prince, Bai Xiao have finally taken another palm strike to his chest. Landing hard onto the cold hard floor of the arena, a steady stream of blood continuously pours out of his mouth as a result. Now that did it. This time Bai Yan can no longer suppress her urge to help, even if this means her brother will resent her for interfering in the future. Chapter 362, by Xiao vs Nangongyi 4. But just when she wanted to go take action, Bai Yan suddenly took notice to her brother's figure slowly climbing up from the ring. I said it, I will not lose. My dignity and pride can never permit me to lose to the likes of you. Wiping away the blood from the corner of his mouth, an ever-growing light of conviction was brewing in the lad's eye, which had the direct consequence of freezing his sister's footstep on the spot. Brother. Bai Yan murmurs to herself, he really is my brother, exactly just like me. Her feelings were mixed here. She's proud that the boy would be so strong under pressure, but at the same time she's worried that he might really get hurt. Then again, the woman here had no right to say that aloud, for she has done the same in the past. Regardless of the dangers ahead, Bai Yan would knowingly jump into the flames just for the sake improving herself. Ha! Cackling a sardonic laugh, Nangong Yi appears amused by the lad's vow. Bai Xiao, if you just admit defeat here, then I will let you live. Why so stubborn? Are you intentionally doing this so I can kill you? Unfazed by the temptation, I don't need you to show me mercy. I only need to show the world that my sister has me backing her. That's right, for her, he can exhaust everything in this lifetime. Using the wind and air as its mean, the words were like a current of warmth, filling Bai Yan's heart from top to bottom. Such a wonderful brother, what more can she ask for? With nothing more to be said there, Bai Xiao once again presses on with his retaliation, aiming his sword straight for Nangong Yi's heart this time. However, it was useless. Not only did it get deflected by the man's bare hands, the following counter only got worse, like a hail raining down from above. Ellipsis. So this is the place that my precious disciple has been living in for all these years. Strolling through the busy streets of the capital, Bai Yan's third Shifu Qiu Shurong was currently making a heavy frown on his face over this picture. The reasoning, it's because the place can't even hold a candle to the amazing environment of their holy land. I can't believe my precious disciple could endure living in such a polluted place for so many years. Boss, old three, isn't this sort of bad to meddle in Xuanhuan's affair without her knowledge? The one saying this was none other than Renyi, that's walking in the middle of them three. He's the second Shifu and he appears quite worried and nervous. Didn't you read Yi's letter and the terrible state our apprentice is in? As her Shifus, how can we not come in person to support our one and only disciple? Zhengqi first Shifu sighed after saying that. It's already a great gift from the heavens that their precious apprentice would be so capable, even their alchemy was taught by the lass. Now that she's in trouble, it would be a sin to not step in and take the charge in fending off any bastard who dares to soil her good soul. Boss. Old two, slightly wrinkling his brow, Qiu Shurong suddenly offers up a suggestion. Didn't our holy land send someone to recruit people in this kingdom? Why don't we go over there and see what's happening? I'm sure the event would have caught our Xuanhuan's attention. Okay, that idea is the best thing you've said all day. Nabbing a passerby out of convenience, Renyi, second Shifu, then makes a quick inquiry about their upcoming destination. Where is the palace of your kingdom? Due to how hurried they were in rushing over, the three elders had disregarded the act of bringing an entourage with them. Adding in the fact that they had no idea of the layout of this place, they assumed the competition must be within the palace grounds based on previous cases. Chapter 363, Bai Xiao's Breakthrough 1. All of you are going to the palace. For what? It's quite unfortunate, but the one being grabbed at was none other than Bai Zhengxiang, bastard father, and based on that expression he's showing, it's obvious the man was feeling rather impatient at being stopped. Don't these old bones know the palace grounds can't be trespassed by just anyone? In truth, Renyi, second Shifu, and his two brothers here had seen the bastard's portrait before, but due to how haggard the person before them were, they just couldn't recognize him. Moreover, there's bound to be some difference from a picture to the real person. That's why it's normal these three elders couldn't recognize the middle-aged man. Of course it's to search for someone we know. Tell me right away where to look. Due to how urgent Renyi was inside, he had somehow missed the contemptible gleam emulating out of the man's iris. Going to the palace to find someone. As if that would be true. I bet they are here after catching wind of the Holy Land's recruitment, that's why they are here. Snickering in his mouth, Bai Zhengxiang clearly didn't believe their story. Everyone, making a fake cough. I do have some connections within the palace. Why don't you tell me who you are looking for, maybe I can help. Lighting up at the claim, the second elder became overjoyed. Really? We're looking for Bai Yan, do you know if she's in the palace right now? Bai Yan. Sure enough, the name instantly causes the bastard's complexion to change dramatically. These old bones are actually here to seek out that unfilial girl. Can it be, they are in some sort of illicit relationship? Otherwise why else would they come so far to see her? With that thought in mind, Bai Zhengxiang then takes another careful look at the elder's face. Due to how red and excited Renyi was in his face, the bastard assumed it must be true despite it being only his one-sided opinion. Everyone, I advise you to stay away from her, otherwise you might get involved with more trouble than you can handle. Raising a contemptible smirk, this shameful example of a father then puts on the air of superiority. What do you mean by that? Losing all level of kindness from his face, Renyi instantly got very dark. Bai Yan has offended one of the disciples from the Holy Land, so she won't be able to survive much longer. I'm only advising you 3 out of kindness based on your old age. Turn back now before it's too late. Bai Zhengxiang would of course not do this out of kindness. He's only worried that the girl would eliminate these 3 once they seek her out. A dead person can't talk, meaning he won't have any evidence to prove their illicit relationship if she kills him on the spot. Therefore, the only option left was to trick him to his home. Only at the Bai house will he be able to use them to his bidding. As nice as the idea was for the bastard across from him, Renyi and his 2 brothers behind him were all showing a strange light in their eyes at the claim. Bai Yan offended a disciples of the Holy Land. What the heck is that? There's actually a dumb enough disciple within the ranks to provoke her. What is the name of that disciple? Wrinkling his brow, it was Zhengqi first Shifu who asked. Lu Zifeng, the bastard readily answers with his chin raised into the sky. Lu Zifeng, who's that? Qiu Shurong, third Shifu, was silent for a while before muttering to his brothers, if I remember correctly, the one leading the group over here to the Lu Hua kingdom is called just that. That Lu Zifeng got quite the gals there. Isn't he? There's not a single core disciple within the Holy Land daring enough to provoke my precious disciple. Now a simple inner circle is flaunting about and making up a storm. The guy must be broken in the head or something. Chapter 364, Bai Shao's Breakthrough 2. Apparently Qiu Shurong Third Elder have forgotten something very important here. Not only does most people within the Holy Land not know of Bai Yan's true identity, even those core disciples have only learned of her existence through the monthly cultivation rations created by the woman at times in the past. Of course, the portions were usually minuscule at best and would warrant a wave of infighting among the core disciples. Since you know, then that's easy. Gently loosening his tightly knit brow, Zhengqi First Elder was rather kind in his expression right now when facing the bastard. Since you know Bai Yan, then you should also know about the one called Bai Zhengxiang. Quote ellipsis ... But I am Bai Zhengxiang. Go and pass on a message to that Bai Zhengxiang for us. Tell him to crawl over here to face his end. Smearing with contempt, the First Elder radiated a serious level of killing intent in his old eyes. Also, which way is to the palace? Now that greatly startled the bastard in question. Confused by the intimidating appearance, he begins to wonder about these 3's background. Nevertheless, he answers honestly to the last question after making a heavy gulp. Go straight 500 meters to the east, then turn west. The palace should be 800 meters in that direction. Oh, thank you then. Cupping his hand to give thanks, Zhengqi then led the way using an almost frosty tone. Old 2, old 3, let's go. But before the 3 elders were gone from view, Qiu Shurong Third Elder didn't forget to send another glance back at the bastard. Remember to pass on that message for us. Go tell that Bai Zhengxiang to crawl over to the palace within the next hour. If he's late even by a minute, then we will show him what it means to cross us. Quote ellipsis ... The man was literally flabbergasted there. Growing a little white, the bastard shoots back a question in response. Don't you 3 know Bai Zhengxiang's identity? Nothing but a scum. What status could he possibly hold? Showing a contemptible smear, the Third Elder completely shuts the bastard's mouth up with his overwhelming aura. It's not that Bai Zhengxiang doesn't want to fight back against that downplay of himself, but anyone would learn after suffering so many losses over a short period. As such, he subconsciously endured the humiliation. Bai Zhengxiang is Lu Zifeng's father-in-law, and the Holy Land is his territory. If you were seeking to settle a score with him, then wouldn't you be challenging the Holy Land's might? I'm only saying this for the goodness of you three. Nothing but an inner disciple only, he actually dares to say the Holy Land is his territory. Quit dreaming. Frowning by now, the third elder finally loses his patience, and you are too talkative. Go and pass on the message, that's all. Despite the rude demand, Bai Zhengxiang didn't have the courage to refute it. Even so, the gloom hovering within his eyes cannot be hidden, which instantly exploded into a furious rage as soon as the three elders were gone. Damn it. Just based on you three that you think I would crawl over there to face my end. Just wait. I have the Holy Land as my backer. When the time comes I will make you all beg in front of me. Ellipsis. Currently standing in wait outside the palace doors, several guards were respectfully keeping an eye out for their expected visitors. Elders, you are finally here. This is so great, we've been waiting here for a while now under Sir Lu's instruction. As soon the sight of the three seniors was spotted, these men had rushed over to pay their respect. In light of the warm reception, Renyi, second elder, only got cold in his snickering smirk. It seems someone have leaked our travels from within. Nothing but a lowly character and he dares to perceive our whereabouts. Like his brother, Qiu Shurong, third elder, also got extremely rude in his remark, and why did he not receive us at the city's gate if he knew we were coming? Is he looking down at us three? By now the head guard was already swelling with sweat across his forehead. Did Sir Lu offend these three elders? How come they seem so menacing in their words? Chapter 365, Bai Xiao's Breakthrough 3. Dear elders, Sir Lu he only just received the letter. Before the guard could even finish his sentence, Zhengqi, first elder, had already bypassed the fool to head into the palace. Ellipsis. Back over at the competition field, Bai Xiao was quickly losing stamina under the constant barrage of attacks from his opponent. Come on, show me whatever ability you have left. Twisted in his maniacal grin, Nangongyi reveals an unnerving level of madness in those eyes. Nevertheless, the young lad didn't give up. Grabbing the bottle from his waist, Bai Xiao still hasn't forgotten the restoration pills given to him by his precious nephew. And unlike what his opponent used, using a medicinal pill to restore one's strength was within the permissible range of the rules. As you wish then. Without hesitation, after feeling the energy swarming back into his muscles, Bai Xiao tosses aside his already destroyed sword and dashes forward once again. Just like the first strike he did at the beginning of this fight, he's relying solely on his own internal strengths to attack this time. Bang! Getting blown away by the aftershock of their palm strikes meeting, this time the lad wasn't so fortunate and felt one of his arms go limp. It's quite apparent a part of his shoulder joint had been dislocated. Even so, Bai Xiao didn't retreat or cower at the intense pain. Popping another pill this time to make a swift recovery, he charges forward a second time like a general that doesn't know defeat. So you want to compete with me in using pills? Fine. Although he doesn't have some miraculous item that can suddenly increase his strength, but he did have plenty of healing pills for all sorts of injuries. So long as he doesn't die, then Bai Xiao can keep fighting endlessly until the supplies run out. Alas, Nangongyi's strength was gradually starting to drain as the fight dragged on, especially after taking a direct blow from his own carelessness not long after. No, I can't lose to the likes of you, impossible. Bloodshot in his eyes, the flaws are quickly showing itself in Nangongyi's movements. Not missing the change, Bai Xiao immediately followed his instincts and made a punch for the man's face. Sure enough, it landed without any difficulty and even knocked out some of the teeth as his foe rolled across the floor. Then at the same time as this occurred, a massive influx of energy suddenly converged on the lad's body. This was the sign of someone making a breakthrough, and not a small one either, because even the air in the sky was starting to gush towards their location. This is a breakthrough. Bai Yan was both shocked and overjoyed. Bai Xiao is actually making a breakthrough under these circumstances. Feeling the power surging across his veins, the lad swiftly sat himself into a meditative position to stabilize his new strength. After half a ring, the excessive energy was expelled through the top of his head and thus bringing the boy into a whole new level altogether. Sister. I said it, I won't lose. After opening his eyes, the first person the lad wanted to see was his very own sister sitting in the audience seat. That's right. I said I will protect you, so how can I lose at the very beginning? Though Baisio didn't say this last part aloud, but the gentle smile from his handsome face was more than enough to convey his feelings. I am proud of you. That's right. The boy currently fighting on the ring was Bai Yan's pride. Unfortunately for this pair of siblings, a certain little steam bun wasn't very happy at their conversation. Tugging at his mother's sleeve, Bai Xiaocan puts on a pitiful expression when asking, Mother, if uncle is your pride, then what am I? Chapter 366, Bai Xiao's Breakthrough 4. Lifting the baby boy up to her face, Bai Yan happily gives her son a smooch on the forehead to show her affection. You are my most precious treasure, of course. Blushing at the sneakiness, the baby boy also returns the affection with a peck of his own. Mother is also my precious treasure. Taking this all in from the side, Xuanhuan suddenly got the enormous urge to make a son of her own. Oh, what to do? Ellipsis. While they were busy playing around in the audience seats, Baisio on the other hand was grasping tight onto his moment of victory by closing the distance between him and the bastard. You. What do you want to do? Don't come over. In his panic, Nangongyi attempts to crawl away until he was left with no room to retreat. He simply never could have imagined the boy to break into the sky rank here of all places. First, let's not mention how Baisio was able to quietly climb up to the peak level of the Earth rank prior to the competition. Just the talent alone at such a young age would be enough to draw countless forces out there to readily recruit him. As for himself, Nangongyi knows full well he would have never been able to achieve his current strength without the support of outside medicine. The difference in power between one who achieved such results on their own versus someone who relied on outside help cannot be compared at all. It's one thing you didn't accept my sister back then all those years ago. After all, feelings can't be forced. But what right do you have to humiliate her? And you even had the audacity to demand she become your concubine. Merciless in his action, Baisio stomps down at Nangongyi's chest, holding the fallen prince in contempt with his downcasting gaze. Puking out a mouthful of blood at the pressure, the prince's face was ghostly white over the injury. It's useless, useless, you hear? Baisio, even if you defeat me today, the Holy Land would never accept you into their ranks. Ha. Want to enter the Holy Land? Dream on. As if the place would be that easy to join. Just one word from Baiji and that's enough to end his foolish dream. I only accepted this challenge because of my sister. I did this all for her. Saying that without a pang of emotional change, the lad then unleashes a series of devastation upon his victim. Stop. But just when the beating was at a high point, this impressively loud roar suddenly interrupts the fight from the front. It was Lu Zifeng and his entourage from the Holy Land. Also beside the man were also Baiji and her shiny bald head that's been engraved with the word bitch. This sort of mashup should have been hilarious no matter how you looked at it. However, none of the onlookers had the nerve to laugh here due to the threat of retaliation. Not bothering to look at the bruised-up prince lying there on the ground, Lu Zifeng arrogantly faces the lad. First, I like to congratulate you, Baisio. You are the winner of this test. In addition, I also like to inform you with great misfortune that you've been delisted from the competition. No matter how strong you are, the Holy Land would never take in a disciple like you. This sort of news should have been a huge blow to anyone participating in this recruitment test. Sadly for the bastards across from him, Baisio didn't feel much at all inside. His only goal was to prove to the world that he can protect his sister, not to join the whatever Holy Land that everyone was raving about. Is this your decision, or the decision of the Holy Lands? Just when Lu Zifeng was awaiting a response just so he can mock the lad, a snickering voice suddenly chimes in and breaks his rhythm. Mildly wrinkling his brow, the man swiftly swept his gaze over to the source. Sure enough, it was none other than Bai Yan herself. Naturally, my words would represent the Holy Land. Baisio already won the fight, yet he continued to attack his opponent. Such a cruel person is unfit to join us. His tone cold the entire way. Chapter 367, Shifu is here. 1. From what I remember, the rules of this test is that one cannot intake a potion that can temporarily boost one's own strength. I like to know what's your opinion on Nangongyi's action then. Faint in her smile, Bai Yan easily points out the fault here. In response, Lu Zifeng immediately revealed a touch of surprise on his face, like he's astounded by the news. Facing the one in question, did you really take a potion to increase your strength? Sweating all over at the inquiry, Nangongyi gnashes his teeth and simply lied outright, she's framing me. This was no surprise at all because they had already matched their stories prior to the test. Their plan was to refute the claim no matter who asked. I had something to do earlier so I couldn't witness the act myself. Everyone, is there anyone present here who saw what she claims? With that said, Lu Zifeng then swept his threatening gaze around the arena, warning them enough to know what not to say. In reality, the man here had been paying close attention to the fight the entire way, right up from the beginning, but there's no way he will admit something so damning, would he? Exchanging a look with their nearest bystanders, those close enough to understand the ins and outs hurriedly denied it. We didn't see it. That's right. If none of us saw it with our own eye, then that means there's no proof to back up your claim. Even if you are trying to malign someone, you should at least come up with a better idea. This outcome undoubtedly elated Bai Ji, who was also standing next to her man. Sending her half-sister a daggering look, she grins maniacally like she's won the confrontation. That's right, Bai Yan, this is the influence of power. No matter how hard you work in the future, you can never achieve what I have done today. Making a faint smirk of his own, Lu Zifeng attempts to make the final blow. It's not us in the Holy Land abusing our power to be biased, it's you who can't bring proof to the forefront. Without proof, we can't exactly frame an innocent contestant, now can we? Sister, it was then Bai Xiao cuts in due to his urgency. It doesn't matter if I don't enter the Holy Land. I will use my own strength to create a paradise in this world for you and my nephew. This undoubted had a warming effect on her heart. Revealing a stunning smile, Bai Yan halts her brother from further speaking. It's okay, brother. I will take care of this matter. I have my reasons. That said, she then imprints the faces of all those around her, making sure not to miss a single individual. Are you all sure that Nangongyi didn't take a tabooed drug? No response ever came, only murmuring silence of indecision from this crowd. They fear the demon beast sect and the flower brothel behind this woman, but they also fear the Holy Land even more. Then just when it appears that all hopes were lost for the righteous side, two resounded voices suddenly broke in with appropriate timing. I saw it. I also saw it. These two voices were like grenades, blowing the minds of everyone present and completely silencing the arena until no sound remains. Seeking the source by turning around, Bai Yan quickly saw who they were. It was the dowager and a young boy walking through the crowd. Shifu. The young boy shyly cries out for her attention. As the old saying goes, what goes around comes around. This was Nangongjun, the prince who was saved by Bai Yan and by Xiakan in the palace a while back. Though the lad has been recognized by Bai Yan as her disciple, but the woman was undoubtedly the worst mentor on the planet. Aside from a name, she has done nothing worthy of her post. Bai Yan can understand why the young prince would side with her here. After all, she did save his life and give him a path to a bright future. But why was the dowager siding with her too? They've only seen each other a couple of times since she returned, hardly worthy to be called a deep relationship. Mother. Nangongyuan King was very agitated by her mother's intrusion. He can give up on a son since he had plenty to replace, but he only has one mother. As a dutiful son, this king can and will do his due diligence to help. However, even 100 nations like the Lu Huo Kingdom wouldn't be able to fend off the Holy Land. Yi, Holy Land Princess, Xuanhuan Demon Princess turning dark in her smile, Bai Yan cold eyes the crowd before her, write down all their names. Aside from the dowager and my disciple Nangongjun, none of the people here are permitted to ever purchase and drugs from any of our businesses. Chapter 368, Shifu is here. 2. Wenru's group of alchemists are almost ready, so it's about time the flower brothel opened up its pharmaceutical department. She must make these people understand the consequences of their choices today. After all, no one knows the relationship between her and the Holy Land, so naturally she wouldn't tremble in fear like the rest of them. But understanding was one thing, it still doesn't excuse these people for snubbing her and her brother in times like this. Note: Wenru is the boy that lost to Bai Yan during her years traveling and is in charge of training her alchemist division. What? The flower brothel is going to start selling Dan pills and other medicinal drugs. Astonishment, shock, those were the faces made by these cowardly people. Under normal circumstances, the creations of an alchemist would never be made public or for sale, meaning unless you are associated with one then you can't buy it even with money. But now she's claiming the flower brothel was going to start the process of selling Dan pills and other medicinal drugs to everyone. But the reaction of these people only lasted for that split second before they returned to normal. They are not dumb. No matter how important the products were, it pales in comparison to offending one of the most powerful entities on this land. Okay. Happily agreeing to the idea, Chu Yi now understands why Bai Yan would stop her from revealing her identity. It's good to know the faces of these people so they can regret it for the rest of their life. Then, just as the princess of the Holy Land wanted to figure out the best way to blow these ignorant fools away, it was Bai Ji who suddenly cuts in and stopped her. Isn't it just some medicinal pills? What's so great about them? The Holy Land doesn't have much, but we do have plenty of Dan pills in stock. If everyone here needs some, I'm sure we can bring some out for sale. This undoubtedly elated the hearts of those who sided with her. They only did it out of fear for retribution from the man and this girl, so the fact that they would get a benefit out of nowhere was a big bonus. On the contrary though, Lu Zifeng's complexion was starting to turn ugly, but the entire division of alchemists within the Holy Land is under the tight control of the three elders. Don't fret, brother Lu. When I enter the Holy Land, I'm sure the elders would definitely favor me greatly due to my cute and lovable nature, am I right? Sticking out her tongue in a playful manner, Bai Ji was actually able to pull off the naive act to the teeth. As much as Lu Zifeng loved the straightforwardness of his woman there, he simply can't shirk off the awful feeling slowly clinging to his back right now. For many years now he's been a disciple of the Holy Land, so understands full well how difficult the task was. Forget about coming face to face with the three elders, just getting an audience from afar was nearly impossible for himself, let alone someone that's not even related to the Holy Land yet. Meanwhile, on another end, Chu Yi was in the middle of pulling out her identification token when she overheard this idiotic statement. Due to how startled the princess was, the girl actually dropped the badge to the ground in her moment of loss. How whimsical can she get? After bullying the elder's only disciple for so many years, she still wants them to like her. Chu Yi almost wanted to cut open the bitch's head right now to see if there's even anything inside. What is this? Not missing the shiny object that fell to the floor just now, Lu Zifeng was about to go pick it up when a disciple of the Holy Land rushed over and interrupted his act. Sir Lu, the elders are here, the chief elders are here. What are the chief elders? It's a status given only to those that are beyond the level of a regular elder, meaning even the sect leader of the Holy Land must be polite in front of them due to their undying service and loyalty. Initially the man was quite irritated due to his puzzlement at the familiarity of that token, but upon hearing who has come, his irritation instantly transformed into elation. As an inner circle disciple, Lu Zifeng was in no position to proactively engage someone as high as Chu Yi. However, that doesn't mean he wouldn't be able to recognize the badge token if he carefully examined it. Sadly, that wasn't meant to be by fate's account, thus sealing his awful ending once and for all. Before long, three elders with three different styles were soon within viewable distance. This should have been the best thing he ever saw in his life, yet Lu Zifeng got the strange sensation that the three elders were coming at him with a very aggressive air. Chapter 369, Face Slapping 1. Sir Lu, seeing the strange look that's coming from the man, the guard then went ahead to explain the situation. The elders are angry because you didn't receive them at the city gate. So that's why, only then does he become enlightened. If that's the case, then it's easy. Putting on a graceful smile, Lu Zifeng then slowly strolled towards the three seniors like a scholar, only to be quickly followed by the mismatched Baizhi in her nunnery appearance. So what if you seduced Dai Kang? In the end you still have to submit to my Holy Land's might. Elders, this time it is indeed my fault for being so negligent in not receiving the three of you at the gates. Please forgive me for my carelessness. Zhengqi, first elder, was the first to respond. Who are you? Going stiff in the face, the foolish man could only press on, knowing full well he's in no position to get angry. Dear elders, I am called Lu Zifeng, a disciple of the Holy Land. Maybe it's because my identity is too humble so you might not have heard of me in the past. Lu Zifeng, never heard of it. When did we have such a person in our Holy Land? Wrinkling his brow, Zhengqi, first elder, makes it sound like there never existed such a person within their ranks. Transforming into a ghostly white without a speck of blood on his face, Lu Zifeng was overwhelmed with horror at the three elders in front of him. Didn't the Holy Land send me here to recruit some more disciples? Why would the elders here not know of my name? Elders, is there some sort of mistake? If there's any doubt, then please have a look over my identification token. After saying that, he then hurriedly hands over the shiny object to the three for inspection. In light of the respectful attitude, Qiu Shurong, third elder, didn't give a shit and snatched the thing right up before roaring out, "How dare you, impersonating yourself as a disciple of the Holy Land? Who gave you such courage to pull off such a deceitful thing?" This time not even Lu Zifeng can continue keeping up his facade. Falling into a panic at the eyes shooting his way, he began stuttering like a train wreck. "Elders, that token. It has my name on it." Smearing at the fool for not getting it, the third elder continues, "So what if your name is on it? If I say you are not my Holy Land's disciple, then you will no longer remember." Losing it completely, he finally got it. These three aren't making any mistake, they are deliberately trying to drive him out of the sect. But I did nothing wrong, why are they trying to drive me away? Is it just because I didn't send someone to receive them at the city's gate? While one person was trying to figure out the cause, the rest of the crowds here weren't so quiet. Breaking out into an uproar, they simply can't imagine how the high-spirited individual from moments ago would suddenly be turned into a stray dog the next. Like the rest, Baizhi was also quite aware of how bad the situation was becoming for her end. Loosening her hand that's grasping onto the man's, she deliberately makes some distance to the side like the act alone would save her from being involved. Normally this would be quite hurtful for any man. However, Lu Zifeng didn't have the patience to care about these small details at the current time. Tightening his fist until it's clenched so tight that the sound of bones crunching together could be heard, he demands an answer. "Elders, I admit I did make a mistake in neglecting your welcoming committee, but the task of overseeing the recruitment process was handed to me by the Lord himself. It's only normal that I would have to be here at all times. No matter how high the three of your positions are, you can't just expel me without reason." This time it was Renyi, second elder, who reacted because he was quite taken aback by how ignorant this man was. Even now he still doesn't get it and is talking back at us. "When did the Lord let you serve as the judge?" Zhengqi, first elder, began to sneer. "Do you not see the little princess is here? As if the Lord would have you oversee the task instead of her." Little princess. Suddenly widening his eyes in utter shock, the man couldn't believe his own ears. Chapter 370, Face Slapping 2. The little princess is within the Lu Hua kingdom. Why am I not aware of this at all? Little princess. Who is this little princess mentioned by the three elders? Is this some sort of princess from a royal family? Che, how can a simple princess of royalty be enough to make those elders there address her as so? From what I hear, the young miss of the Holy Land is also called Little Princess by those inside. How can the young lady of the Holy Land be at our kingdom? Impossible. I'm betting it must be someone else that they are talking about. Ignoring the gossiping voices around, Zhengqi First Elder first brushes his sleeve to make himself look better before heading over to Bai Yan's location. Towards the sudden encroachment by the three seniors, Bai Xiao instinctively moved in front of his sister to act as a shield. Though the three appears quite friendly on the surface, but the actions of Lu Zifeng had tarnished his image of that power, that's why he would be so defensive here. It's okay, brother, they won't hurt me. Patting her brother on the shoulder, Bai Yan reassures the lad with that confident smile of hers. Can the three of you control that aura of yours? What if you frighten my brothers with it? What sort of existence were the elders of the Holy Land? It's a status that demands respect from all that's not of their equal. Therefore, for Bai Yan to make such a demanding request so out of the blue, it's within expectations that the crowd would be popping their eyes in shock. This woman, it really begs to wonder if she's just plain stupid or simply daring to the core. Does she not know the three in front of her can squash her like a bug if provoked? Revealing a flicker of vicious light in her eyes, Bai Ji could already see the picture of her half-sister being turned into a puddle of blood. Mistake. It's our mistake. We forgot this isn't the Holy Land. Contrary to popular belief, instead of dishing out the proper punishment like everyone thought, the three seniors actually receded their aura as asked. Falling into an eerie silence, none of the people here knew how to react to this scene. It's too unexpected and out of script. The blame really can't be on the regular people here, they just aren't accustomed to this sort of behavior from those of such high stature. What the hell is going on? Though faint, but their hearts are starting to be gripped with a sense of unease, especially for those involved with framing Bai Yan and her brother just now. They didn't even have the courage to face the reddish figure of the woman at this point, for an impossible idea was starting to sprout in their minds. But before anything could be confirmed, a loud exclaiming scream from one side had caught their attention. It was Chu Yiyi jumping downward to pick up her identification token. Then, as if that steamy face wasn't enough, the lass then shot an angry yet distressed glare at the three old-timers like they did the most heinous crime in the world. It's all your fault. This token was personally engraved by my father, what if it got scratched just now? If anything happens to it, then I'm blaming you three. This time there's no chance to miss it. Getting a perfect look at the word engraved on the token, Lu Zifeng finally saw the letter Chu deeply engraved on the middle. Not many may know this, but the foolish man definitely does. In this world, to be able to use the surname Chu and receive special treatment from the three chief elders can only be one. Little princess. A heavy gasp escapes his mouth following this realization. Forget about being pale, forget about being ghostly white, his complexion was literally a dead man's face this time. Horror, fear, that's the sort of words that can come remotely close to what Lu Zifeng was feeling right now. Yo, you are the little princess, Chu Yiyi. He was already wondering from before why the girl would appear so familiar in his memories, now it made perfect sense. And on top of this explosive piece of information, his brain also remembered another important fact. In the entirety of the Holy Land, there's only one person that can make the little princess tag along like a little follower. Shifting his gaze over from Chu Yiyi to Bai Yan, Lu Zifeng's very own fear was attempting to hinder him from believing the answer in which he already knew. It's too obvious and too surreal. End of the chapter. Adorable Treasured Fox Divine Doctor Mother Overturning the Heavens, will be read in 10 chapters for every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday and Sunday. Please leave this sound novel and press subscribe, follow, and the bell so you don't miss any new clips as well. See you.